So this building is what? Is it car park or?
No, this is a very special building. This is the ice rink. And it's a quite outstanding building, I think. Very unusual in that it's got these blue inserts which really make a difference. And then I can go and I'll redo the blue in a minute. I'll just touch the blue up. So it's a quite unique shape, this.
Right.
It's quite a weird roof in reality. And it's got these blue inserts, and I can't show you because I can't see it. But on the front, there's, I can show you, yeah, I can show you. Look at this. This is the sort of detail that we've gone to. Can you see that?
Yep.
That goes in there on the inside of the window.
So you've coloured the glass with the logos?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's a sort of...
How did you colour it? Is it laser etched?
It's laser etched, yeah. Well, it's laser printed.
Right.
On like a inkjet printer. But the really interesting thing that I find really, you know, obviously I watch YouTube for inspiration from all over the world. I'm looking for tips, which is what you should do, because you don't know everything, and there's always somebody who does something that you go, wow, that's a good idea. One of the things that's really, really sort of coming to my psyche is just how this works, clutter-wise.
Right.
Because one of the things that I'm a big critic of on YouTube, particularly People's Railways, is clutter. And you have to be very careful of how much you put in.
You're talking about clutter for the sake of clutter?
Well, I'm talking about unnecessary clutter.
Right.
Because the truth is, I think, there's huge clutter on the railway, huge clutter. But it's all there for a safety reason, usually. There's no clutter there that can be a trip hazard.
Right.
So you're looking for safety details, and building a station which, you know, when I built Leamington Spa Station, it's an old-fashioned station, I knew it intimately. It's quite simple compared with a modern station, because a modern station has got huge amount of safety on it.
Right.
You know, with yellow lines, white lines, fences, telephones, all sorts of things. So the amount of clutter that's actually, let's call it tidy clutter if you want, or necessary clutter, is huge.
Right.
And like these buildings have all got refrigerators on the roof or air conditioning. So you can't just build the building, you've got to build, all the clutter on the roof.
Right.
Different roofs have different purposes. You've got to understand a concrete car park will have a concrete floor. Right. But a building roof won't have a concrete roof. So a building roof will be, in this case it's galvanised, and it'll obviously just be painted. Right. But in the case of the buildings, it'll probably have a concrete roof. Yeah. But it will be covered, and it'll be covered in a bitumen with stone on top to let obviously to let the evaporation work. Right. Because you don't want water sitting on concrete, because it'll penetrate, and all concrete, a lot of concrete, not all of it, but a lot of concrete is reinforced. Right. And if the water goes through, it touches the steel, it rusts and it blows the concrete away. Right. I mean, I only know this because I did that as a job. Right. So I understand what roofs do. So one of the most frequently asked questions on rail nuts, why we've been posting this, and I think we're on week 15, is how we've got the textures. Okay. And that's really interesting, because it's a very simple trick. Okay. But I notice everybody uses emery cloth or sandpaper. Yes. No, it's simpler than that. Just go and buy a bag of kiln dried sand. Okay. It's really, really fine. I mean, really fine. And get yourself a very small sieve. You can get one if you want. You can get lots of small sieves. And just let it go off and spray it, and you've got a fantastic surface. Have you done that already? Yeah, there's you see the platform there. Look, that's got it on. Look, see it? I haven't yet put the weathering on, but you can see I've put the texture on.
So it's like a non-slip coating, isn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, most people use sandpaper or anything. It's expensive.
Yeah.
And you know, when you've got 40 feet to do, it's ridiculous. And you can see on this roof, look, I haven't painted it. This is a good example. You see, I put the PVA on and I sprinkled it. So when I spray this,
it's quite grippy.
Yeah, it'll look like it's got stone on it.
It's like it's lifted the wood a little bit.
Yeah. It's just an old trick that I learned a long time ago, but I still use, and I still, you know, quite regularly I see the diorama guys using emery cloth and sandpaper.
Right.
Nah, simplest method. PVA, let it, you know, give it 24 hours to dry once you've sprinkled it. Don't put too much on, that's the other trick. You know, just literally sieve it on and blow it off and it'll just stick. And you get a lovely coating, and when you spray it, it just looks great.
So when's the modelling tips and techniques book coming out?
To be honest, I'm a little bit reluctant to do that because I think all modellers have got their own ideas.
Yes.
Now, some of those ideas, you have to find out your own techniques, right? There are certain things that I think you observe and you think, well, very good, but the big difference with what we do here than anybody else is just the size.
Yeah.
So we can't do stuff like, you know, I look on the web and I see some fantastic models, particularly in the diorama guys, but they're this big.
Yes.
You can't do 120 feet like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of detail.
Well, you don't have, it's your lifetime.
And the amount of detail you can spend in 1 square foot's quite, you know, the effort is quite different to hundreds of square feet.
Yeah, so you've got to look at something and get the overall impression. And I go back to this clutter business.
Right.
You're better off adding than taking away.
Right.
So the less you add, the better you've got it in the first place. So you've thought about it in the first place. You haven't come to it later. Now, one of the problems with a modern railway is the balance between overgrowth and natural.
Right.
Because we don't look after our railway like we did back in the 60s and 70s.
Yes.
So you do get green now in between this. And when we started modelling Milton Keynes, one of the problems that I had is the amount of ballast that there is now on the railway.
Right.
And it's very untidy ballast.
Right.
It's not like the old days where you got beautiful shoulders.
Sculpted.
Yes, they don't do that anymore. It's all put on by machine. It covers the track. Looks great on the real railway. It doesn't look great on the model railway.
Okay.
Because they cover the end of the sleepers now.
Right.
To keep the weight on. Very, very difficult to achieve in 4 mil. Right. Certainly not achievable on 64 feet. That's impossible. It'd take you 2 years just to ballast it. So you have to make compromises. There's no choice. But it's the balance between the overgrowth on the actual track and the ballast that's the real difficult part.
Right.
I think it is.
Okay.
It's so. You know, Milton Keynes is in a valley, effectively.
Yes.
So we can't model that side because, of course, that's where the public stand. But I've put in some undulation to give some idea that it's not flat.
Right.
So when you put the faceboard on, like Dave's got a faceboard on there, you know, that just gives you the impression that there is a bank.
Yes, it does, doesn't it? I can see that now.
Yeah, it gives you an impression there's a bank. When we go down the other end, because for me, as a modeller, all this ballast is boring. It's just too stark. So we've started to attack it, but we've not attacked it heavily yet.
Right.
In other words, it's stand back, wait, have a look, and add little bits at a time. Because as I say, you can always always add.
Yes.
It's difficult if you start to weather and things like that, and you're fighting yourself. So
the balance, the great compromise.
Yeah, and you know what, Dave? It is all a compromise, and you know, I get some fantastic comments on rail nuts, and I try and answer everything because I think what Phil has done with the mirror buildings is phenomenal. Now, it's not a secret. We're not keeping that a secret.
Right.
So people have said, "How did you do it?" We're telling them.
Yeah. Oh, showing them.
Yeah, and we're showing them because that to me is how I learnt 50 years ago. Somebody showed me, you know, and trees particularly. I go back to 1960 when I was lucky to know a mate in Birmingham who knew a guy in America who made the most amazing trees, and this is 1960.
Right.
And he, you know, in those days to have an international call, by the way, was like a fortune. But I remember calling him. He's passed away now, and he told me how to make these trees, and I've never looked back since. And then you know, you make your own versions of it.
Yeah.
So today we've got a lot to do today. We've done a lot. One of the biggest problems on this layout is the wiring. I've wired this board, but the two middle boards, if you look, can't wire at the minute because nothing's fixed down. It's all just placed there. It's not actually stuck down. So Kevin's going to finish the platform islands canopies off today. Then I'm going to start on the bottom. But teddy bear fur, I don't care what anybody tells me. Okay. I've seen the static grass. Yeah. You can see the static grass here. Yeah. It don't look as good as when you put it on top of teddy bear fur. Right. Teddy bear fur to me changes everything. Okay. It's a pain. It's expensive. But you know, when you look at me, look at that. That's when you add there, you add static grass to teddy bear fur, you get lots of colours and lots of different textures. Texture, yeah. You know what I mean? And that to me is like, honestly, Dave, the last thing I want to do is make more teddy bear fur. Right. But I've tried everything, and Andy and Paul are fantastic at static grass. It never quite works for me. Right. It's one of those things. It's like.
Well, everyone's got a different skill set.
Well, I think if you're doing that much, yes, it's great. Yeah. You know, and I can see people like, you know, some of the small dioramas or small layouts with the static grass, fantastic. But when you've got this much grass, I mean, you've got what, 75 feet of grass. Yes. It's got to be even more special than that. Then you've got to add colours and you've got to add different bits and pieces. So again, it's like people go on about static grass, but it's not the answer to everything. It's not the you know, magic bullet.
It's part of the solution.
It's part of the solution. It's not the solution.
When you say the wiring's not done, are you referring to the bus wiring or the points or?
No, none of the wiring's done. I've put the droppers in. Okay. But none of them in because I can't. These boards are 4 foot. This board and that board are 4 foot, so I can't turn them up onto the legs because they're too high. Yeah. So I've got to take all off and drop them down onto a stand. Right. So what I'm intending to do today is work on this, and before everybody goes tonight, separate, Thursday, beg your pardon, separate it, turn it, and then Friday and Saturday next week on wire all the boards. Okay. Because I've tried to do it underneath, I'm not being funny, but I'm too old. You know, I did this one, nearly killed myself, and I couldn't walk the rest of the day. You know, that's the other thing, as you get older, you realise you're limited to what you can do. You know, I mean, it's all right, you get, you know, 22, 23, 30-year-old under there, do it all day long, but when you get to over 70, your old joints won't let you get up as quick. So what I've done now is got toolboxes. So rather than have tools all over the place, and then where's that tool? Because every time I've come in over the weekend, it's taken me 25 minutes to find the tool before I could do the job. It took me 2 minutes. Yeah, that's what you know what Dave's like. Dave walks around tidying up everything. And Chris. And you come in and you can't find anything. Yeah. But I left it here. Yeah, but I didn't know it was left there for a purpose. You didn't ask.
You want the foam, then you know what's missing.
Yeah, right.
No, don't do that, you'll break them.
No, I won't.
Yeah, you did.
That's great, Aaron. Another really cool day gets you there.
Okay, excellent. We can get these in, hopefully. Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah, the pillar...
It's grey.
Yeah.
I've done it this morning.
See, this doesn't matter.
No, I've done it this morning.
Just needs in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And this face, of course. But I've left that to do this morning. And I'm coming on now!
The window frame needs painting, but it's a different colour, I think.
Black?
Yeah.
It's black. Well, I'll do that this morning.
And I don't know what colour that bit that goes in here is.
Black. Grey. Light grey. I've got it on. You sent me.
Did I?
Yeah, you've got it.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's on that drawing you did, the picture, and then you're drawing below it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
How expensive it is.
So you're only talking, you keep talking about the back station, there's two ends, they won't sorting
It'll
out.
take 5 minutes.
Yeah, but they're just
Hey,
scenery.
5 minutes for who?
For me.
What about me?
There you go on.
He's got,
Well, you ain't got anything to do. They're made.
of course I've got watching all them bloody ends, haven't I?
No.
Of course you have.
only got one.
Where's the trailer disappeared to? From scenery to fiddle yard? Oh, that's thingy one's making up at the end.
It's done. He's got one. Made it upside down. He's got one to make.
He's only got to join to that one.
It's done. You've only got that one to make, which we haven't got.
Not for Chester, it's not.
The fishbowl.
Little Keens.
Dave, you've got one to make. The one that goes across from this end, you've just made that one end. We made that last week, the week before. You've only got one board, crossboard,
So there's the
that's for Chester, that's it.
All
the Chester boards are finished.
Yeah, but the ends not finishing, you know.
You see how it's
You finished them, Dave.
top and bottom.
What do you think you've been doing here?
Bolted through
Oh,
this
well,
side, it's clamped.
But it's built up at the ends with the wrap
That stands
angles
off.
on and that.
Oh, yeah, you've got that to do.
And then
You're
you
boxing
keep it
in.
out.
The boxing in.
Yeah, well, we can't even connect them together yet to start doing it.
It's one of the which one's the main contact wire
I need him in position so I can do him. I can't do him.
That's what I'm saying, but you will have in the next week. Because as soon as you finish today, put those other two boards back up,
holding part of the.
and I'll have them finished in literally a day. Won't be this week because I'm not back till Thursday.
So they've
But
got
by Sunday they'll be finished.
We're just.
Because again, that's just grass and
So in the ice
flock
sections, this
and a bit of. Now we've got that bloody stuff.
Overlap.
Amazing.
Oh yeah.
That 50mm stuff is amazing.
Station, isn't it?
Bang on the right size, so I can cut it straight from the bandsaw. You know, put the banking in.
What's that, the foam?
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, brilliant.
You've used that before, though, haven't you?
Where's the north?
This is different.
All right.
This is different.
It's up here somewhere.
But it's a lot easier. And last week I did one, and it's
north
only
of
when
the
you
station.
stand back you go. Because because I normally model in 7mm. You know, in 4mm you're half.
So that's the
So
outside
a
line,
60mm is a big hill,
Yeah.
isn't it? 60mm is quite a decent bank.
So. Go with it. For a look.
No, so I still be we'll be on time. We're a little bit ahead of ourselves, but there's 3 big jobs, and that's Aaron with the overheads.
That'll be done off site and then we're just
Overhead Aaron.
Yeah. Over my head. Not hard, is it? Money 5 4 6.
But that's the big job, and we can't get round that one. But all the scenery will be ready will be basically in place by the end of the month. Today's big job is to get the road in. I can't do anything until that road's in. So that's the big thing today, to get the road, the last part of the road up to the ice rink. Once that's in, I can sail through it.
I haven't got the piling. You know, that new piling, the new length size of it.
Oh, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's not ready yet.
No, that's not a problem. That's not a problem.
How long will it take for wiring the front section, like the bus bars and points?
I've done 3 boards, but I literally can't do, if you work out the in and an out, I've done the in on the first 4-foot board, but you've got an out and an in and an out. I just can't get under the layout and stay under there. My body just won't allow me to. You know, I do about 4 wires and then literally I've got serious cramp and
It's not the way to do it. You've got to
it's
tip the
not.
boards open until,
yeah, you do.
you know,
That's what I'm saying, Phil.
you've got to check them.
Thursday,
boards
break them down, take all the stuff off and store it.
Yeah.
Turn them on the back. I'll wire them Friday and Saturday, put them back on Sunday.
You won't be
done.
able to turn the station, the platform building upside down, unless you take the platforms out.
You won't be able to you're not turning it upside down. Keep it on its edge.
Yeah,
It's easier to
that's what I'm
work
saying.
on
But you
its...
said turn it upside down.
No.
In here, not in.
No,
Mate, upside like we do.
But you're going to have to make
Put it through 90 degrees.
Sort that out.
Yeah, we'll sort that out.
You've got to make them for Thursday, though.
Safety stuck the
I'll talk to David in a minute. There's an easy way.
Yeah, no, I'm saying you've got to make them for Thursday. Otherwise, you can't.
I've got two blocking workmates.
You've got how tall are they?
Well, you can have them as low as you want. But yeah, the 2 positions, but the low, you'll be lower than that thing, eh?
Canopies.
Yeah.
Well, they're 4 foot, aren't they?
It's too
No,
big.
Black and Decker on each
No,
floor.
no, no, no.
It's only
no,
about
no,
2 foot.
The board is 4 foot.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you've got 7'6" headroom.
Yes, you've got 3 foot, 2 foot split.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, Phil, it'll only take me 20 minutes to wire a board.
Yes,
When it's that way, it's
Yeah,
dead
but
easy.
the wiring you're doing is the easy bit.
No, I know that. I know that. But you're going to do it anyway underneath. But if I can take the bulk out,
What I'm saying is,
I don't think we're going to need the 18 port.
it's once you've done your bit, we're going to turn it back flat again.
yes. Yeah, because we've got to carry on modelling
Yeah,
at
but
that
that's
point.
what I mean. That's
But just for Friday and Saturday next week, because that's, you know, I've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
Where are the crossovers?
so when do you actually go away?
Wednesday,
Our son is a faster.
This is a week this one.
a week Wednesday.
And you come back this Monday.
Yes. So I missed that week. But I've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to do my thing to get you guys in front.
Yeah, stop putting out. Can't move.
When's the best day for me to come down later in the week and get some footage of the wiring being done?
Seriously.
No, Friday.
Friday afternoon or morning?
Yeah, Friday morning. Just give me a shout. But we'll sort it out over this compressor.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because as I say, I can do it pretty quick.
Yeah.
And it just takes the burden off Phil. So if I get all those three, the 2 station boards and the outboard, the London side, if I've got all them, put the droppers are on anyway, I just put the reds and blacks on, and we get the buzz put in.
Why can't you do the bus bar for the lot?
Yeah.
On the front, there's them 6 boards that's there. Why are you only doing 3 of them?
Isn't long enough.
Because I've already done 5. I've just done it. I've done 5. I can get, I could get them. They were easy. Because the wires on down.
Say that.
So my plan is if I could shoot half an hour of you doing that, that'll
Friday.
go into this video.
Then it's just a question of what boards we need off Dave then.
Tell me, Phil, you can have them.
What boards we need off Dave, not you Dave, the other Dave.
Too many Daves.
Yeah. Because we need the relay drivers, the servo drivers.
We're going to system 2 now, yeah?
Yeah.
The relay drivers on system 2, they've got a lot of new features that the old ones don't have. So you might like that. Hope you do.
Are they 5 or 12 volt?
5.
Does it need stepping down to 5 or do you stick 12 volt?
Stick 12 into the relay driver. The relay in.
We'll show you what they're talking about.
Lost me now.
This is for the frog.
Oh, this is your frog.
Did it croak?
Go
Yes.
bang otherwise.
Wrong sort of chips for Dave. He likes wooden ones.
I like potato. I like potato ones.
With some fish. What else are we going to need? I don't know what we're going to do about signals yet, so we'll leave them for a bit.
Alright. Do you think you're going auto signal or are you doing something else? Because I have
Well,
a
the-
system 2 auto signal.
The problem with the auto signal is they're going to be RGB LEDs, not normal LEDs.
I'm not seeing that as a problem.
No, but I don't know I'm going to do it yet.
Okay.
That's the problem.
Okay.
Problem is Phil don't know how he's going to do it. So.
Yeah, well, I'm going to... So if I do it for every possible way, then I'm going to have one in stock, aren't
Yeah,
I?
well, there what's it called?
W LED.
Yeah. 2020s rather
Yeah.
than 50/50s.
My LED driver is coming out late, too late for you, I think, this year.
Because it means I can use the same wiring to do the feathers, the
Yeah.
reds, the yellows, the double yellows.
But with the auto signal, there won't be wiring other than to the light itself. All the detection and logic
Yeah,
will
well, that
happen
one.
off the bus.
So we're going to need how many relays does it drive per board?
Each one does 8.
There's any slight variation.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think we can get away with 1 on here of each
Right.
servo. And how many servos does it do?
8.
Yeah, 1 of each on here.
Okay.
There's a point there. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1 there.
1 relay and servo.
Yeah, 1 of each.
I'll just put them in now. So do you want to leave them together? This one.
No, because they don't. It's the.
There's no wires on this yet.
This is a new board then,
Yeah.
but there's
It's
wires.
the one that was on that end of that. The triangle one's over there. This is the first one. This
So-
one I use this for.
Yeah, Chester.
No. But, yeah, for Chester.
Yeah.
Right, 1 use
If it
only.
hasn't got wires on it, it'll need unbolting so they can turn it upside down and wire it.
I'll turn the two up together. You can sort your wiring out and just run it straight through. This is wired, isn't it? We'll just leave them together for now because it'll have to go back down. Right.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll put that in.
As I say, that's easy. Once you've gone, I can do that all day Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That means that when you come back
Those are special along what
on the Sunday, we put it all back together and it's all done.
where they go to.
That fencing's fine, by the way.
Hey?
That fencing's fine.
Yeah. Then it means that you guys can concentrate on things like the signals.
So has that got a
Yeah.
hole through the glaze?
I can't
Looking work.
Simulate work.
Simulate, I'm good at that. Hang on. I'm actually going to be doing a bit, Dave.
Okay.
I will only say this once.
Pack him after lunch then.
Hey? Well,
Or before lunch. They've got that right.
I'll put him in the dry 20 minutes. But he'll either end up like a zebra crossing or...
It'll just be on my hand, Dave, from where I'm leaning and not doing a lot.
It'll be on your nice new coat.
So I'll spray that. But what we now do is think, let's get this road in. That's the crucial thing. We get the road into here, then I can work
So you having a return wire or just the main contact wires?
Just the main. I can't. To do all the return, you've got to get on hook all that when you get to the board joint as well. So and this has an ATF on it, the auto transformer feed as well, which doesn't help. So you've got to be technically another 2 wires, and you don't need all that work.
You having a Bailius on the track then to simulate the auto transformer?
Let me just go around with
Well, we'll stick some up somewhere, won't we?
I've got to get me 6-inch screw.
Because the auto transformer feeds an entire bracket system as well.
Where's the my 6-inch screw?
Your 6-inch reel is on these boards over here.
Bless you.
Is there anything I can do, Phil?
All the locos and boxes, wagons and things.
Everything that's going, everything that's worth taking. Chris has noted down all the containers. Right. He's got some software he's going to allocate containers to specific wagons.
Yeah, that'll last a day before they get mixed about.
So that's all going to be... He's put labels on every single wagon, so he's made up trains that should work together, possibly.
Where are we going to, Phil?
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Right. Up to about here somewhere. You'll take a bit. Yeah.
Right. So that building there.
Yeah. The height of here and there.
Yeah.
So this needs to be 48 minus 6.
Will do.
Is it just this board joint that's got the custom length?
Yes, between there.
And the rest are going to be used?
Usual standard, yeah.
Right, yeah. I think this is the... Is it the stuff he's put back down here?
Oh, just pulled it in. That's it. The caliper's behind you.
Quite thick, isn't it, this?
The caliper's behind you, mate. There, right in front of you there.
I'll do.
Hey?
3.5.
So it's super glue. It
Yep.
looks silver from this angle.
Yeah, it's got to be painted, hasn't it? You'll have to paint it in afterwards.
Okay.
And now I've got that there, I can super glue the underneath.
That's 3.
Yeah, 3.2, yeah. Fully through. So that needs to be 45 mil.
No, wait a minute. No, because you've got to put the road on top of that.
Okay, minus another 2 mil.
Right. So that's 5 mil.
Yes, so 43.
43.
Accelerate that off.
Yeah.
And then in the right place. So they're in prototype position. Next bracket goes this side. And this will align up now with the end of the registration arm. that'll go there.
Okay.
See, what's the track size on? Because you want the wire vertical, you line that up with that. So you see how that's caused to stand off?
It's quite an offset, isn't it?
Yeah, but it has to be, because the insulators will be an issue.
Touching the actual...
There'll be an arcing effect, so it has to be stood off because of that upper insulator. And that's why they do it. And all I have to do is glue that in that position, and it'll match up. Just wait there.
Do you have any of the cages or anything around signals or...?
No, well, it's finding someone who can produce a mesh that fine. That's your big problem. Yes, I would do it normally if you can find something that fine, because it is a fine.
Surprising the amount of mesh and stuff they put around. Like.
Oh yeah, it's only to stop signal injuries landing on a bloody touching the wire. It's only to stop them reaching out and grabbing.
Yeah.
And it acts as a Faraday cage as well.
I had my tools here. Probably tied them up.
Well, it won't have been Pete tidying it up, will it?
I've tied it up all morning.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it.
No, I know what it is.
So that's that one on. This one should go that side.
I said to the lads,
The whole front Winsford signal box was just cage. You could barely see out the window.
Yeah, it's to stop you reaching out and grabbing it.
Because it was literally, you could reach out and touch the wire.
Yeah.
I don't know how that box is still there, because it's got like a scaffolding at the back of the box, just to hold it up. Every time a train goes past, especially at night, and you're not asleep, it rocks around.
Oh dear, what a shame.
Don't do that.
Not my fault.
Well, at least you come back.
This new timetable.
Not tried it yet, not been in work, have I?
Awful.
I'll take your word for it. Yourself, mate. Alright, so that's them in the correct location. Ready for use. Once the wires can fitted.
You can go now.
Grass. Dying.
So when you're hooking it on,
Yeah.
obviously one's going through the top, but the bottom is...
That's why these have been adjusted.
You adjusted
the ends.
the hooks on the lower or upper.
Get them out.
Say 100, 1,400.
So these, Phil said do 5, but I've actually only done 4 that hasn't required the work.
Oh, okay, yeah, you can see it's...
Right. That will get us straight.
You can see the difference now.
Yeah.
We had to tweak that to lower it, instead of it going up there. Shortened it, shortened the hook. And then if you look at the other side...
Well, I'm about just getting the verticals in first.
So it stays.
Yeah, so it's still reaching.
Still reaching, and that was the reason they have to be done, because we're bracketed either side.
Yeah.
And these are adjusted anyway. These are made specific anyway, because they've got an extension in the middle. And if you do an extension, just curl up the ends.
Yeah.
It's always a smooth finish then when you've done it. But it's not something you'd know. But you do see some things like that on the actual network, curled up like that in places. So I can get away with it.
Yeah.
And as a lot of it will be hidden under there anyway, it's not going to be immediately obvious. So that's basically using that jig. Allows me to do that even before we put anything up. Even if it's a mill out, they've all got they can just desolder and adjust accordingly and get them fitted. So that's the plan. Next one to do is that one, and then I've got all that can be finished painting. Have the insulators redone brown, because Pete's been doing everything in battleship grey again.
What's this? Say it again.
You know what I mean? So that's
Doing Robin.
Okay, so this is the baseboard that comes round off the layout and goes into the fiddle yard. We've been laying the track this week, So I've just been going along, knocking the pins down flat so that they don't foul on the couplings as the trains pass over them. So that's all I've been doing, really.
Why have you left these gaps here? What are they? What's the purpose of that?
They're just where the lengths of rail join to each other, and so they've got the rail joiners, as you can see, underneath. So when we've done that, we will slide some of these leftover sleepers underneath, and it will cover the gaps up.
So are the joiners soldered?
Yes.
So it lets you solder it without melting the plastic?
That's right, yes.
Got it.
What we're doing now today is putting these fascias on the front of the layout.
Okay.
Right, did 3 the other day, glued them on. I made them all the same size originally, which is what Pete wanted. And then he's going to stuck some scenery on at that end, which is higher than, so I've got to redo these 2 ends here. So I'm just going to cut these now.
This is MDF?
Yeah, it's 3mm MDF. It's ideal for this stuff. Just roll that, Rob. While Dave films and whatever. Yeah, I just want to cut this off. No, let's end here.
That in there?
Yeah. It's good. Right, and don't lift it up. Take it down. All right.
Yeah.
Right, use that. I need it, but I've got. Is that the end? I've just done.
That's it.
Yeah, I just got to put tape on it. Hang on. Because that board's angled. Right, let's try that going on here. Then lots of profile it. Right. Just all that up there, Rob. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that'll do all right. That I've got to do now. Just clamp it on them. We need to just clamp it on. In fact, what I'll do, just pass that nail gun. I'll just tack it. Pass that nail gun there.
Chris's dad died last night.
Did he? Oh, right. I can't. His compressor needs plugging in.
Right.
Hang on. Right.
So this is nail gun in the...
I'm only tacking it. I've just put one in each end. They're only going in 3mm, so you can just pull them off and pull pins out. But it just hold it. Not easy to cramp this on here.
Right.
Where's that piece? That's it. Which is end? I'll just tape as one end. That one. Right, that way. Right. Keep it flush at the bottom. Right. Okay.
Yeah. What complicated that? I have to explain to Dave that one. Easiest thing to work out that.
Right, you can profile that in a minute. Let's get that other one now. We'll tack that one on as well. Just need to see if this one's a bit wider. Oh, just let's tape for the end, hang on. Sham for the end.
We've taken this out.
Where's it gone? Done with nail gun. What's nail gun?
We've taken that out, we're redoing it.
It's under the baseboard there.
Are you looking for the nail gun?
Yeah.
Again, put it into
Don't need them on now.
in reality it's just too late.
Take this one off at the centre.
Yeah, take that one off now. I don't need them now.
Dave, the work that's in your round today.
Right, it's about 2 inches short at this end.
It will be. It's a bigger board, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a longer board, it's on the angle.
That, Phil?
It's over 8 foot now, so...
I don't know.
What is it? That's right.
Oh, you there now?
All right.
Pull it tighter up. Because it's...
I did my roof.
That'll do. It's alright, I can push it. Right, just have to profile it now and take it off, cut it, put it back on.
Grand.
I can't remember what we're up to when you last came in.
Oh, hang on, whoa, just laid the track. Literally.
That's what you're saying,
Not all of that.
No.
I'm amazed to have nailed it and see that the balance didn't go well. Hey?
You can go right down. Still so much to do now.
Betty, you're which grill said
Well, you know.
I'm not that old.
Remember, it's right to that other piece at the far end.
Just as useless now.
I've nearly 2 weeks off, so it's probably been running fine.
Well, that's what's been doing it.
You filming that, Dave?
Just that, there you go.
Yeah, fill this end, do it. Otherwise it don't mean anything, does it?
There you go. Anywhere around there, perfect.
Profiled it to perfection.
Right.
Yeah, well, we'll do that then with a bit of sandpaper.
Right, take it off again now. We'll get me little pliers to pull the nails out.
I mean, what I'm doing here is the simplest and quickest way of getting a contact. Just bundling the wire together, twisting them tight,
Yeah.
tinning them and soldering them, and that's not going anywhere. So I've got 2 lines there. I'll tidy it up with a bit of a snip, and I'll glue that in after I use. This is hot glue, and I use to stabilise it all.
And this is the DCC bus, yeah?
Yeah. These are the droppers.
So we can see down on these baseboards, it literally is a pair of wires.
Yeah.
So it's true, DCC is only 2 wires.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everywhere. 2 wires everywhere.
2 wires everywhere.
Yeah, there's some
Just
more.
not in that order. But I mean, the simple thing is, again, you can make this hard or difficult.
Yeah.
But because, in principle, it's only 2 wires, as long as the boards are connected all the way through, you daisy chain them, you've got a good contact. So the real contact you want is from your rails, because at the end of the day, your pickup is from the wheels on your loco.
Yes.
So therefore, these are the most important pickups. These, you know, you're screwing in, but these, you want good contact so that you know that the wire is not faulty.
Yeah.
You know, you can get dirty rail, but you know that this is not faulty. Yeah, well, again, you know, there's a myth about unleaded solder, you know. It's, you know, to be honest, it's as good as leaded solder if you've got heat and you've got flux.
Yeah, well, it's
at the end of the day, isn't it?
I like that it melts at a lower temperature, the leaded.
Yeah.
And you get that nice shine when you've done a joint, whereas unleaded's a bit more dull, isn't it, with the tin?
Yeah. And of course, it's on all electrical goods that are sold to the public, really.
Yeah.
I've never quite get how you would suck a washing machine, but there you go. I'm sure some European legislation had covered that. Now that ain't going anywhere.
No.
That ain't going anywhere.
Robust, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So then what I do, purely as a tidy up exercise again, because, you know, this layout's only going into being in existence probably a year as a working layout, I just tidy it up by putting a bit of masking tape to keep the wires. And this is a Davism, by the way.
Stop them dangling.
This is to stop Dave moaning that it's getting in the way of his screws when he's screwing his board together. It's purely a Davism, that.
Oh, well.
Right, now then, I've made a cock up here.
Oh.
What have I missed? I've missed a bloody black wire. There.
It's only 2 wires, Pete.
How did I do that?
Talking.
1, 2. Yeah, talking.
All right.
You see, this is the way I used to do the wiring. 6 dropper, you know, all and then, but that's wasteful.
Yes.
So you know, you got 2, 4, 5 wires there when you can do with 2.
Yes.
Because you can just twist those 2 together.
It's a bus, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bus. Anyway, so if you, obviously that's the middle of the layout.
Yeah.
As you can see, I forgot 2 droppers. So that has to split.
Yeah.
Because that's the middle of the layout, the catenary wire that gets made from Pico, the length is 500mm. That's your longest length.
Right.
On the railway, that's not that's short.
Okay.
So to keep it looking right, we've had to go and make the wire exactly the same length as on the railway, which is 650mm.
Oh, I heard Aaron talking about this last.
This piece of wire here, between there and there, is 650mm.
Yeah.
Okay, and so when you see the building and you see a picture, it looks exactly the same.
Right.
There's no compromise.
Right.
So the building is right with the. Then what you have to do is all the other mass, which of course you're now on 500mm. You're back to 500mm. You're not going to make all 650mm. That Aaron would never. You know, he'd never be a train driver. He'd be making wire for the rest of his life.
Yes.
They all then have to be gauged off that middle piece there.
Right. So
until those 2 are in at 650,
you can't do the rest.
You can't do the rest.
Got it.